What up, Bulls Nation? Peck here. We've got a live CHGO Bulls postgame coming up for y'all right around the corner. Bulls hold off a late Blazers rally to get the win, 118-113 at home. They reclaim the 9th spot in those play-in tournament standings in the East. Big games for Vuce and Coby. We'll break it down next. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into CHGO Bulls postgame. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. This clown is Big Dave. Bow! Bow. BNWL Sports.
Did you say big clown?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Oh, he did not.
That's four-time champ, Uncle Will_Perdue 32. Queen of the controls, the one and only KW. What up, KD?
Hello.
Giddy.
Bulls get the win, 118-113.
Katie,
That's a big
take
win.
your time.
That's a big win.
Bulls win. Again. Bulls win. One for the Blazers. Bulls win. And then one more because Will Perdue played for the team. Bulls win. Oh, there it is.
That's a big one. That's a big one. Shout out to everybody hanging out with us in that YouTube chat on our CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Hit the like button right now so Katie doesn't bug you about it for the next hour.
Wait, hold on, Matt. Hold on.
What's that?
Now, last time we were in Studio B, Will Perdue.
Yep.
What?
You was on your Buzz Killing team. We gonna be all right today?
Well, now that you
We gonna be cool?
now that you brought it up,
We gonna be cool?
What are you throwing at him for? Postgame, by the way, brought to you by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use promo code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Why are you holding a bat?
I'm just being a little protective. Make sure everything cool.
Just making sure.
Just make sure everything cool. Making sure it's cool.
Hey guys, I got a new technical difficulty sign here in Studio B. Are you
Okay.
ready for it?
Okay.
Yeah, let's see
Here
it.
it is.
That's right. The Bulls are back, Emma. Back in 9th place.
Yeah.
Where they belong.
Oh.
Home tournament playing game. Come on now. They pulled into a record tie with the Idle Heat. Own the tiebreaker over Miami. So, Bulls back in 9th after that one. Look, we were talking in pregame about how this might be an ugly game, at least on the Blazers' part, because it was the second night of a back-to-back for them. Long road trip, tired legs.
Yeah.
And it was ugly back and forth from both teams in the first half.
Yeah.
Was it the second quarter when the Bulls had a stretch of like 0 field goals in 6 minutes, or was that the third quarter?
I felt it was the second. I think it was the second quarter. Yeah, because
that-
it was like 46-44 or something like that.
And they still only trailed by 2 at halftime because the Blazers were like, I will see your brick and raise you 2 more.
Shout out Greg Braggs.
Because we mentioned in pregame also, this Blazers team, dominant team on the offensive glass.
Yeah.
Second in the NBA, post All-Star break in offensive rebound percentage. Whether it was Klingon or others doing work on the glass, they got more possessions than the Bulls in the first half, and it didn't matter because they were just chucking up bricks. Their shooting was bad at halftime and then got worse. The Blazers finished this game shooting 38.3% from the field and 26.2% from 3.
Yeah.
The Bulls also outscored them at the charity stripe by 12.
Oof.
And then you look and you're like, the Bulls only won by 5? How?
I don't know. I watched that game with you, and I still don't know. They turned the ball over a ton.
Yeah.
Just went on, like you mentioned, real scoring droughts.
17 times.
That's a lot. But even at the half, the Bulls were 43% from the field. The Blazers were 39. Yeah. The Bulls were 6 of 15 from 3. The Blazers were 6 of 24. So it was just like, I see you're bad, and I raise you worse. So that's really what you saw. I mean, but I will credit the Bulls, especially on the rebounding tip. I mean, Modest had his first double-double of his career with the 12 rebounds. Vuce came out from the jump and reminding people of who the hell he was. 31 points and 12 rebounds for him. I mean, Josh Giddey, another triple-double, 15 points, 19 rebounds.
Bonkers.
And 12 assists. I mean, that's it. You don't need anybody else grabbing rebounds after that. Like a couple people, shout out Patrick Williams because he had 5 rebounds. for himself. 2 points, though. We won't get into that. But, yeah, man, they did a really good job battling a team that you mentioned, Matt, in pregame, talking about their offensive rebounding and how good they were at it. And we did see it.
Oh, yeah.
For sure in that first half, for sure. We saw it. But the Bulls kind of conquered it and kept going, man. And those guys like Giddy, Coby, I mean, you got 2 players with 31 points on the Bulls team, man. You're doing well. So the Bulls, 4 of their 5 starters in double figures, and Herter had 9 points himself. So, yeah, man, it's cool when that happens because it's like, oh, man, where do I start? Like, which individual player I'll talk about? But I'll leave it to Buzz Killington to let us know what he's going to feel on this one. Will, come on with it.
You can't look forward. You got to go back.
Come
huh?
on. Come on. Come on.
You live in the past?
Come on.
I called you and we had a conversation. You're like, oh, I forget stuff quickly.
I love this dude. Oh, no, Will. I forget.
So you asked, when you mentioned that, I was like, how is this game only a 5-point game?
Yeah.
Well, it's because Portland attempted 28 more field goals.
I knew that's where you're going because I just saw that myself and was like, oh my God.
Smart.
That's one of the craziest disparities in field goal attempts I've seen all season and in recent
The Bulls
memory.
gave up 115 field goals.
They took 87 and Portland took 115. That's a combination of the Bulls' turnovers and Portland fighting on the glass for those second possessions.
They took 115.
Took 115 shots
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen that.
in a regulation game.
What?
Yeah.
All right, hold on a second.
My brain hurts. That's for real. Oh, my God.
All right, so just for comparison's sake, the Indiana Pacers scored 140 points
tonight
All right.
and took how many shots?
89.
Oh my God.
You know what? I'm going to
Well,
move this bet out
so
the way.
that's a team that got
God.
a lot of shots up with their 20. Wait, how many offensive rebounds? 19 offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
17 Bulls turnovers is going to lead to a lot of shots. They shot, again, 38% from the field.
Yeah.
Brick City.
Yeah. Bricks. Yes. Shout out Redman. Oh, my God.
That kind of reminds me when we used to practice, they used to put the little plastic cover on the rim because it was a rebounding drill.
Yeah. Looked like a drum skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that, man. Oh, my God, dog. I don't.
So we used to play this game.
Speechless.
We used to play this game so it was kind of weird, right? We would get out rebounded in a game, and then Phil would be like, you guys got to get in the weight room. Got strong enough. So then 2 games later, we'd have a bad shooting night. He goes, you guys are in the weight room too much. But they used to take this, if we got beat on a rebounding, they used to take this thing and put it on the rim, right? We'd play half court. And so you would play a game by points. All right. So for getting a defensive rebound, you got 0 points because you're supposed to get it. If you got an offensive rebound, you got 2 points. Right? And it was just, you had to try to get to 10 points. But not only did you get 2 points for an offensive rebound, but then the team on defense got -2. So it would be the first team to 10. And this would last like almost an hour.
I'm about to say, this sounds like a lot of fights is going on, bro.
And they literally wouldn't blow the whistle.
Wow.
So it was about block out, push out. There were a lot of fights.
Yeah.
But it was basically the attempt is that we have to get nastier on the defensive boards. All right. All of a sudden you'd see Phil come loping out with that thing like this and Johnny Legs, get the ladder. Put that thing on there, and it was literally like the old saying, buckle up.
Oh, man, dog.
Because it was just the coaches, because the rule was that you wouldn't practice it. The offensive team would hit the 5 spots like you were doing 5 out, pass it around, and when the whistle blew, you'd shoot it. And then guys would literally just like getting shot out of the blocks in a 100-yard dash, and you'd brace for somebody just a forearm square in the back, right? And so it was wild. And then, but as Phil loved it because it got the desired results. And then the next game, you could count on we were going to out-rebound the opponents by like 15 to 18 rebounds.
Yeah.
Probably get double-figure offensive rebounds. And it was just point taken, point delivered.
So it created that pride. You know
Oh,
what I'm
yeah,
saying, of getting that
absolutely.
rebound for you guys.
Absolutely. And then occasionally there might have been some wagers about who would get the most rebounds, stuff like that.
What? No.
Yeah.
Sometimes
possibly.
you walked out of there with a couple of dollars, maybe.
I may have periodically.
Mark D in the comments saying, sometimes you just got to win ugly. Liam agreeing, saying exactly, Mark D. It doesn't look cute, just got to win. Or it doesn't have to look cute, just win.
Just win.
And that's what the Bulls did. And then I think, look, tonight, a few different players had, statement games. Obviously, you were talking about Vooch, Dave, reminding everyone in this league what he's capable of on a good night when he cares. But to me, it was that little mini heater that Coby went on in the fourth quarter when the Blazers were threatening and went on a 10-0 run and got the Bulls lead down to, I think, 5 at one point. And then Coby was like, and credit to Giddy, who had that insane full court pass.
Insane.
To Coby, who broke out early.
Yeah.
I mean, on a dime, right on the money to feed Coby for that emphatic fast break hammer dunk. And then the next possession down, unfortunately, they took it off the board because they went to replay and saw that he had stepped out of bounds with his heel. Yeah. But he also canned that three. Even though that three got taken off the board, Coby stayed aggressive, attacking the basket, drawing feels, get to the free throw line, close the game out, close out the W at the free throw line. These are things that we are seeing more and more of from Coby White, who is proving not only to be the heart and soul of this team, I think, when you hear what he has to say in the locker room after wins and after losses, but they're floor general in a lot of ways. No, and I'm not trying to slight Josh Giddey on that. Yeah. The man who had 12 assists tonight. I mean, when it's crunch time, Coby is turning into that guy who's like, I got this.
Yeah. When Coby had his interview on The Score, I was reading what Will Gottlieb said about it, and the first thing he talked about was how good of a leader that Coby was, because when they asked him his favorite moment, they thought it would be the Wemby dunk, and he was like, no, it was the Lakers game because everybody contributed and everybody did something to get us that incredible victory. And so that's him off the court. On the court, you see the leadership as well, as you just mentioned. In the fourth quarter, you now know who's getting the basketball. Now you know, no matter what, I don't care who's hot. I don't care if I'm not. I'm getting the ball. You're giving me the ball. I'm going to find a way to score and help this team. And he had some huge shots. You mentioned that three, because I said to you guys when they showed the replay, I was like, I think he stepped out of bounds. And then they took it off the board. But like you said, nothing phases him anymore. Man, that move he had where he got the ball, he came down, did a spin with the fadeaway, the whole time he's doing it, I was like, oh, my God, this is going in. Yeah. The whole time he was creating that play, I'm like, oh, my God, this is an NBA move right here. This is going in. Then the dunk that he had on the other end. I can't remember if something happened. I think they missed a layup or it got blocked or something like that. But then he gets it, goes down on the other end, and with the dunk. Fourth quarter is his time. It's his time to shine, and it's his time to ball, man. He's going to close those games out. 31, 5, and 7 is a star stat line. It's really that simple. That is a star stat line from a guy. And Coby White is consistently putting these things up. 56% from the field, 2 of 6 from 3. And I've said this a million times. We talked and 4 turnovers. In the face of adversity, it doesn't stop him. He continues on, and he's going to try to lead this team to a win. And it just says a lot about him, Will, just about his growth as a basketball player and as a leader.
When I look at his stat line, the thing that impresses me the most is he went to the line 12 times.
Oh, God. Jeez.
It's kind of interesting. You don't say this a lot about guards his size, but the aggression of which he plays with. Yes. He is fearless as far as knowing, when we first did the pregame, and even how he started the game, right? I think it was the third play of the game where he drove the lane, got knocked on his ass, and then stepped up and knocked down 2 free throws. But I was listening to Swirsky talk about it, literally as he kind of just turned on the jets, knowing he's going to get hit.
Yeah.
But he constantly keeps getting up, and you start to sit here and talk about, it's one thing for an individual to prepare himself for the conditioning aspect of a game, but it's another to prepare yourself for the physicality aspect. And one of the things coaches always talk about is you have a choice. Either you be the hammer or you be the nail. he's turned into being the hammer.
Yes, he has.
As far as how he turns the corner, how he gets to the basket. Very rarely will you see a guy his size or somebody that touches the ball as much as he does get a 12 free throws.
Yeah.
Because they're not gonna take the beating. They don't want to take the beating.
Mm-hmm.
That's a mentality aspect of they know what they're gonna feel like the next day. Not worth it to them.
Yeah.
So I'm a good enough 3-point shooter. I know we got to take a break, but his ability just to kind of read the situation, and that's what now makes him so difficult to guard, because as a big, if we were to switch out, I don't really know what he's going to do, because I know he's going to put it on the deck and go by me. But if I give him more than an arm's length, he's shooting it. Yeah. There's no way I can cover that distance.
And whether it's the 3 or the mid-range, the confidence is there with Coby step back.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it becomes a nightmare, because then he can also dribble, do a little head fake, suck you in, and then go by.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's one of those points now when a player like Coby, if they screen roll with the big and then the other guy starts yelling switch, you're like, you're a because now your teammate's just setting you up for failure.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what? Bust your ass, get over the top, right?
Yeah.
I'll help you gather him in, and then I'll get back to my guy. But don't get so damn lazy that you just immediately yell switch and put me on an island.
the old so-and-so.
That's it.
We've got to
Gotta
take
get
our
the
first
fouls,
break
baby.
right there. When we come back, still plenty more to get to. Some thoughts from our fans in the comments on Coby. Also, people talking Modest, people talking Pat. We'll cover everything.
All of it.
Hit that like button while we share some words from our friends and sponsors. Throw us a super chat if you're feeling generous tonight. Do it now. 4 titles.
The Blazers really?
Postgame brought to you by Sunnyside. What is Sunnyside? Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. A place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside's got everything you need to elevate your summer, Chicago, and we are oh so close. But hey, until we get there, they also have the products you need to elevate your 44 degrees and raining, which it was today. That's fun. Hope everybody had a great time at that home opener at Wrigley. Shout out to that Friday 120 Club.
Cubs win.
I mean, there's also a Sunnyside like right down the street.
There is.
If you were at the Cubs home opener today.
There is, right there.
It's your one-stop shop for all your cannabis needs. An expertly curated menu with over 100 different strains to choose from, plus easy online ordering and in-store pickup. I stopped by the Wrigleyville location just last week. Made my order online, walk in, they give you a receipt with your order. Weave through. Oh, hello, this bud tender. Here's your order. On your way. But before you get on your way, I took advantage of that incredible discount offer, put in promo code HICHGO when I'm checking out my online order, and bam, 50% off your first 3 online purchases.
What?
That's right, 50% off, 50, your first 3 online purchases with that promo code HICHGO.
Wow.
They've got you covered, whatever you're looking for. A connoisseur, a newbie in the cannabis world, they will help you out and make you the happiest customer on your way out that door. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, bright buys every day, only for 21 and older and Illinois Med card holders.
Yes. Go ahead, Matt, and get some easy drinking in. Well, you can.
Easy, breezy, beautiful.
Easy, breezy, beautiful. The Maybelline of beers.
The what?
Maybelline of beers. That's what Matt calls it.
Maybe he's born with it.
Yes.
Maybe it's Sam Adams' American Life.
Yes. Easy drinking. Light beer just got so much better. You like that, Katie? She liked it. She liked it.
Katie did not like it.
She
Boo.
Her nose means like she likes it.
Hey, Mikey.
Mikey. Introducing Sam Adams American Light. It is clean, it is crisp, and it is super easy to drink, as he just showed you right there.
Go to you.
No gimmicks and no fluff. No woozies. And of course, where Purdue don't like no wazies. Ain't no wazies in that.
Zero was.
Zero wazies, ladies and gentlemen. Sam Adams American Light is not your average light beer. It is brewed with 100% American-sourced ingredients from local independent farmers. It is simply light beer that is made right, because light beer should not feel like a compromise. It's an American classic, so smooth it can ride in the passenger seat with Will Perdue. You'll want to crack open another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then one more on top of that, because it is always Sam season, ladies and gents. Light beer just got so much better. Grab some Sam Adams American Light, available right now at select Chicago retailers. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Rolling along, CHGO Bulls postgame, brought to you by Bet365. Rob in the comments saying, no doubt these are the Coby-led Bulls. He's a natural leader and is a big part of them winning games. Paul Sorensen saying, Coby now believes in himself 100. Liam saying, that's it. Coby is immaculate, growing every month. Force Within saying, I got to say, Coby going off in the playoffs would be pretty special to watch. Oh, they are right there, Katie. Playoffs. They're going to the pre-playoffs. They might very well go to the actual playoffs.
The pre-playoffs?
The pre-playoffs.
Pre-playoffs. Oh, man. They're on the way.
Yeah. Clinched.
In there.
Back in ninth, Dave. Back in ninth. Congratulations, Jerry. They're back in ninth. Hold on tight.
Or the play-in, is the play-in considered the playoffs?
I call it the postseason. I don't call it the
That
playoffs.
is also how the league has started officially defining it.
Oh,
now.
they've been listening to me? Oh,
So
okay, cool.
when
They watch our show?
when you clinch a spot in the play-in, they refer to it as clinching a postseason berth.
Yeah.
And then if you're a top 6 actual team, they call it clinching a playoff spot. But so they are referring to the play-in tournament portion of all of this as postseason.
Yeah, because
they are games that happen after the
after
regular
the
season.
and they don't count for the regular season.
They don't count towards the playoff stats, and they don't count towards the regular season stats.
So they're stuck in the middle. Perfect, right there. You mentioned we talked to Coby.
Yeah,
I want to give Vuce his flowers, man.
Okay,
I want to give Vuce his flowers. That dude balled out from the absolute beginning of this game. And, of course, he had the rookie against him, like in Donovan Clingan, who, honestly, I was impressed by.
Yeah.
Again, sitting there watching him,
He's a player. He's a monster.
Oh, man, he's something, man. He had 7 points and 18 rebounds, 2 steals and a block. He shouldn't shoot threes unless he gets that right. He was 1 of 4.
I think he hit the first one he took. And then,
he did. Yeah. And then, like that should be it. But regardless of him being rookie, he is definitely formidable as a defender because Matt was breaking down his numbers in the pregame. Mm-hmm. He's formidable. But Vooch, man, Vooch was just on one tonight. The up and unders were working. The fadeaways were working. The step into 3 was working. All of it was really working. When I saw him hit that mid-range shot that gave the Bulls a 7-5 lead, that's when I knew he was on. Because when Vooch is just taking mid-range jumpers and his cash – hitting nothing else but the bottom of the net, I'm like, oh, we might be in for a long night for the young fella tonight. But he did his thing, and he did a lot in the first half. He kind of chilled in the third quarter, but then in that fourth quarter, he really picked it back up, Will.
When he had to.
Yeah.
I think we could agree that both teams were coasting in that second quarter.
Fair.
But as you saw, Chicago dropped a 40-burger. So nice. But I wanted to point something out to change it towards Giddy.
Okay.
So I saw something tonight. So where I was sitting, I was on the end of the floor.
Flex.
So as we went in, as we were in the third quarter, they had a fast break. So Portland missed. Giddy came in, got the rebound, or got the pass, free throw line extended. But as soon as he turned around, he never looked down at the ball. Okay. Was it Modest? Was it Vooch? Somebody was running. There were actually 3, and this is just what we talk about as far as a guy being at the next level.
Yeah, yeah.
There were 3 defenders back. So basically it was a 2-on-3 break. Mm-hmm. And he's never looking at the basketball as he's dribbling. He's not really pushing it fast, but he's pushing it at a medium pace. He looks left to get the one defender on his side of the lane to move over, even though there's not even a player over there, okay, because the player moves with his eyes. And then he looks right, and then he's going to pass the ball. He picks it up with one hand. The guy on the wing steps out to the wing. The player that was at the wing cuts back door, and then he buzzes it by the center guy's head. So he didn't do anything spectacular with the basketball. It didn't go behind the back between the legs. But how he moved the defense so that he could then make the pass, and I forgot who that was to where they basically had the easiest layup of the game. But the defenders actually outnumbered the guys on offense. But how he moved that situation and how easy he made that look by controlling those defenders with his eyes and his head. A lot of players can't do that, right? They look to put the ball down on the deck, go as hard as possible, wait for somebody to take them, Once the defender commits, then they find the open man. And that's where you start to look at this and, they took the 1 assist off, but it's just impressive and also enjoyable to watch how he plays the game when you can watch it from those different angles.
Yeah.
That a lot of people that were on – listen, the best seats are on the floor.
Yeah.
But that's something when you're on the floor you'll never see. Because you can't see plays develop on the floor because you're eye level, whereas if you sit up a little higher, you can see how everything develops and how everything works.
And I think that's what it was I remember you and I watching him when they played Orlando, and we were kind of having that same kind of conversation just about watching his IQ and how he would impose his will, just with his IQ on the floor, and just how impressive, it was for somebody at that young of age to already be kind of there at that level. I think even at the half, he did not have a great shooting first half. I don't even know if he hit a field goal in that first half. In my head, I think he had like 3 points.
Who are you talking about?
Josh Giddey.
Yeah, I believe he did have 3 at halftime.
Okay, he had 3 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists.
Yeah, I think
that's what he walked in
to
halftime with.
He started 0 of 5 from the field. I'm
Right.
not sure if he managed a field goal before that halftime buzzer, but
No, it was all.
Cold.
I remember all free throws,
free throws,
for him. But you end up with 15, 19, and 12. That is doing what you need to do to get yourself right in the locker room, and then coming out in that second half and saying, nah, I ain't going for this no more. That's impressive to me, man, because, you could have phoned it in after that, after having just that bad first half. But I always talk about his superpower. His superpower is rebounding. Like, it's IQ for sure, but the superpower is rebounding because his motor is constant. It never, ever, ever stops. He is always going. And that's how you wind up with 19 rebounds, which is crazy. And just the assist, as Will was pointing out, that he was getting. But once he started scoring and, putting the ball in the basket, everything started kind of clicking for him. I liked it because, look, he was 4 of 13 from the field and took 1 3. But he went to the line 9 times. 9 times he went to the line. So that's how you get those point totals. And I like when you can score in other ways, especially when you're not known as a scorer. So if we're like, well, we'll take away this because you like to do that, and you're still finding ways to put the ball in the basket, it's impressive. So combining that with the rebounds and the assists, it was an impressive night for Josh Giddey, in my opinion.
And we were wondering in pregame if Coby and Josh, who their free throw attempt rate, their ability to attack downhill, draw fouls, has been a big part of the successful month of March that they're just coming off of, that 9-6 March, and both of their significantly boosted stats was getting the free throw line. Both of them. Yeah. Coby and Josh went, and we were like, hey, that's not going to be very easy task tonight because of the rim protection that Klingon has. Yeah. This has been a top 10 Portland Trailblazers defense across the NBA since the All-Star break. Yeah. This is a real team. Yes, they're missing bodies, but they're a team that defends. And especially in that first half when both teams were struggling, the Bulls were struggling because the Blazers were playing very respectable high-level defense.
Yeah, they were.
And they still, Giddy and Coby, managed a night where they go combined 18 of 21 from the free throw line. Like that's passing a big test to me.
I agree with you on that.
Knowing that those are the circumstances. Yeah. It's encouraging to see when you're talking about them hypothetically being this team's backcourt moving forward next season and beyond. If they always have that, if they can come into every game on any given night saying, three's not falling tonight, or, we're a little loose with the ball tonight, we're still going to get 20 points at the line.
Yeah. Knowing you can score in other ways.
Huge difference maker.
Yeah. And knowing these guys are the guys you depend on to score, because whether they like it or not, they depend on Josh Giddey to score. It's an important thing. Like, him scoring 25 is great. You want that every night. But him scoring, period, in double figures is very important to the Chicago Bulls, man, because other guys just aren't going to have it. Coby's going to have it. I mean, Vuce usually has this thing going. Modest is a rookie. It could be iffy. Red Velvet could be iffy because he's the three-point shooter. Somebody else got to score. And Josh Giddey is taking it kind of upon himself to say, okay, fine. It's going to be me. It ain't going to look pretty. It ain't going to look all cool and nice. But it's going to go through the net, and that's what you want, whether it's a free throw or it's an actual shot.
Yeah, but the thing about him, though, is that he identifies when he needs to be what. Does he need to be a facilitator?
Right.
Does he need to be a scorer?
Sure.
Does he need to be a rebounder? He does a really good job of identifying what is the team missing, and what is it now that I can have the greatest impact. A perfect example. He knew he was struggling tonight.
Yeah.
So he started to put his head down and got a little more aggressive, something that we're not used to seeing with him. from an offensive standpoint, right? And that's where we, again, talk about the basketball IQ of him just identifying what is necessary or what's missing in the game. And I'm not saying that other guys don't do this, but I've also noticed when he's on the bench, he's very attentive on what's going on the floor.
Okay.
And I'm not saying other guys aren't, but again, I contest, as we talked about on media day, just when you hear him talk about the game, it's just he's just at a different level.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things that impresses me the most as far as what it is that he really truly can do. And at 22, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, I think what we have to do is his athletic ability is what it is. It's not that he's not athletic, but he's average at best.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's where he has to improve at, is to where he can be a continued, not get 19 rebounds, but can he now put himself in the position to where he is, wrestling to get 10 a game. All right? To where he's pushing the basketball to where he's getting at least 10 assists. And then there are the games where he's going to hit 2 or 3 threes, and he's going to score a lot of points. But at the same time, my shot's not dropping. I'm going to keep, I'm going to find a way to get to the free throw line. Where some guys, when they're struggling, they just keep shooting. And it doesn't help their shooting percentage, but it also doesn't help the team because they talk about, well, scorers keep shooting. I don't think Josh Giddey has ever looked at himself as a scorer.
I would agree. Yeah.
He's had games where he's been the primary scorer because he's on a hot streak. But for the most part, he, I think, considers himself a basketball player, not a point guard, not a scorer, just a basketball player. And then he steps out on the floor and kind of identifies, okay, what's needed? And that's what I become. Am I a rebounder tonight? Am I a facilitator? Some nights I'm all the above. But what is the area that we're lacking that I need to now pick up to help us win this game?
We got to take a break right there. When we come back, still plenty more to get to. CHGO Bulls postgame hanging out. Studio B. Hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. Throw us a super chat. I see we got one. We'll get to that next on the other side of the break. And, of course, we'll still hear from Willie Gottlieb and find out who that Empire Goon of the Night is. Postgame tonight brought to you by Prize Picks. The home stretch of the basketball season is here. Race for the playoffs heating up, hotter than ever. And it's the same on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. Don't miss your chance to cash in as the league's best teams fight for that playoff positioning, including, that's right, the Bulls fighting for 8th, back in 9th.
Yo, man.
Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. Prize Picks is the best way to get sports action in more sports in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. The app is super easy to use. To create a lineup, all you have to do is to pick more than or less than on a few different player stat projections for the game that you're excited to watch that night or that afternoon, and get your shot at up to 1,000 times your money. It's the best place to win cash while watching sports. So join over the 10 million users and sign up today. You can even mix and match player stat projections from different sports.
What?
Different leagues. What? Just combine your favorite basketball player stats with stats from baseball. That's back. Hockey. That's still happening. You can even play with esports if you want to, if that's your jam.
Say what?
So download that Prize Picks app today, and do not forget to use that promo code CHGO when you sign up to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right. Just use promo code CHGO and play your first $5 lineup. Whether or not that lineup hits or misses does not matter. You will still get $50 instantly either way. Prize Picks, run your game.
Yeah. Well, Purdue, you appreciate this right here.
Uh-oh.
Empire Today!
Oh, here we go. I thought you were going to do your we'll say this. Go ahead.
Oh, Empire Today, ladies and gentlemen. Because just like your favorite team, who needs a home court advantage?
Oh.
There you go.
I do.
Put it up in there. There it is. You need a home floor advantage.
Hey.
And Empire Today can help you get it, because Empire Today has flooring experts. Not just people that know floors or look at floors or just figuring out floors. Experts That's what they do at Empire. They are dedicated flooring professionals.
What do they do?
They know the floors, Will. All they do is floors, no matter what. That's how it goes. I don't know why I'm talking like Sam Jackson right now. Yes, he deserved it. Empire Today has those flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day. Now, you all been to those big box stores, y'all. You know, Katie, she want to do stuff, all right? But no, she got to deal with stuff. She like, all right, I want to find some flooring. Let me go over here to the big box store since I'm out already running some errands. And then she got to run into Biff. It's always Biff. Biff never know what's going on. Hey, man, can I help you find some floors? No, get away from her. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, well, I'm from plumbing and I know that stuff, but we want floors, Biff. Floors. You don't know what you're talking about. You're wasting Katie's time. She could have had that shop at home convenience that you get with Empire Today, ladies and gents. Empire Today lives and breathes flooring. Bleeds. And they
bleed flooring?
Yeah, they do. But they keep it up here. It doesn't get on the floor.
That's invested.
Yeah, it doesn't get on the floor, though. Doesn't get on the floor. It stays up internal. And they will be with you through every step of the way. It's a whole different ball game. Pick the right flooring and the right colors for your space. See how it looks with your furniture in your house, in your home. Get precise measurements taken and have all your questions answered so there will be no surprises, because with Empire Today, you get clear, upfront, and inclusive pricing. Plus, you can schedule installation as soon as the next day. So schedule a free in-home estimate today, because some things are just better at home. CHGO listeners can receive $350 discount, ladies and gentlemen, when you use that promo code CHGO. Yes, you heard it right. A $350 discount with that code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit Empire Today /CHGO for full details. 588-2300 Purdue. Empire Today.
Biff!
That was like a 4-minute ad read.
But
Good
worth
God.
it, right?
That was pretty impressive.
But pretty worth it. You got Biff, Sam Jackson. You got everybody up in that one.
Coach James in the comments said, damn it, Biff, give me the info I need.
So, Dave,
This is why you go to Empire.
What's up?
for entertainment purposes,
Come on with it.
can we get the Patrick Williams impersonation?
Oh, well, so I have to read the stat line to give it to you. Will.
How about you use the Pat impersonation to introduce Goat, who is on the line and waiting for us?
That's called a segue,
Well,
ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't hear a jingle, so
I didn't
forgive
either
me.
hear a jingle jangle.
No, you don't see his face?
No.
Say hello.
No.
He's at the bottom. He's
Oh,
right
there
here.
he is.
Oh.
Say hi.
Yes.
You're hiding him in the brush over
How
here,
dare
Katie.
you hide the quaff from us on the
Well-
Hooters Hot Wing Hotline.
Then
All right, let's hear the intro, Pat.
Oh, no Hooters Hot Wing Hotline, but we do got GOAT talk. Yeah.
That's where he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Happens in Studio B.
Joining us on that Go Talk Hotline, our guy Will Go Gottlieb, Bulls Insider. Follow Will_Gottlieb. He's perfectly coiffed. Read his stuff, allchgo.com. Goat, big game from Coby, big game from Vooch, throw back the clock, Vooch, and another triple-double for Josh Giddey. Bulls hold off a late Blazers rally. What is your headline in this one?
Yeah, I think probably Vooch, Coby, and Giddy all putting up some pretty big stat lines. Obviously, that game was, the Blazers coming on a back-to-back, not having their full rotation of players. Kamara was sitting, Simons was sitting, Scoot was sitting. So we didn't get to see everybody. But they're a competitive team. They're defending really well. And so to see guys, not necessarily have the best night shooting, but for Coby specifically and Giddy, you could throw in that bucket too, to just continue to put pressure on the rim and drive and get free throws. Like, 21 free throws between the two of them. That's tremendous. And that's exactly what you need on a night where you're not shooting the ball super well. Obviously, career high in rebounds for Giddy, a career high in rebounds for Modest, who had a double-double first of his career. So just like big stat lines across the board. I don't think this was like a particularly well-played game by the Bulls. Like, they didn't play to their style as much as we have seen in previous games, but they did, I think in the second half, turn it on a little bit more and start to put a little bit more pressure on the rim, as I mentioned with the free throws. So just a solid overall effort from them. The bench is not going to be giving you quite as much when so many guys are out of the lineup, but also THT, 13 points, 4 of 5 shooting. You got to love that.
I was going to ask you about that because I knew you love that, man. I know you love watching that.
That man gets shut up. I respect it so much.
I want to ask you about Josh Giddey. What part of his game has impressed you the most with how it's kind of grown? And we've seen him get to the line more. We know that he's a rebounder like that, but he's also turning himself into kind of a scorer for the team because they definitely need him to put the ball in the bucket. But then, you got the assists. Will loves the IQ. He was breaking that down earlier. But what's your favorite part of Giddey's growth?
Yeah, I would probably say the foul drawing. I mean, I was wondering, I guess just throughout this game, there were a couple that he got, the first couple, I would say, that just he's driving so aggressively and almost recklessly into defenders, and he's just crashing into them. Even if he's not going towards the basket, if he's going out of bounds and kind of away from the basket, he's still getting those calls. I wonder if he'll be able to get those in the postseason, and I'm curious to find out whether it's Miami or whoever they end up playing in the play-in or beyond, just to see what playoff refs how they call his game. But you cannot take away from him what he's been able to do in terms of getting to the line. I think that really just changes who he is as an offensive player. To your point, Dave, I mean, him becoming a scorer, I think, is in large part due to his ability to draw fouls. He's not scoring a ton of points from beyond the arc. He's making the open ones. He was 0 for 1 tonight, so it's still not a huge part of his game. He was 4 of 12 on twos. So even though he had a pretty low efficiency game in terms of scoring from the field, he's able to bolster that efficiency by getting to the line so much. And that is not something that he has ever really done before. I think he was averaging less than one trip to the free throw line per game every single year of his career. So he was not even averaging 2 free throw attempts per game at any other point in his career. So to get up to 9, that is a huge, impressive leap for him. And I think that really changes who he is as a player.
So obviously, Big Dave, you and I didn't get the memo about the plaid shirts, but
no, we didn't get it. Sorry,
kind of got left out on that one.
It's normal. The black sweatshirts.
I mean, it's normal.
Okay,
we got what was clean.
That is a good way to put it. Yes.
If it wasn't a collection of 4 either hoodies or plaid shirts, then I'd be worried. But we're still in our wheelhouse.
That's fair.
Of comfortability.
No one's left the wheelhouse.
Did you do the sniff test before you put it on?
3 times.
Trip sniff?
Trip sniff. Come on, man. Got to be right. I hug people. Got to be right.
So, Will, I'm curious about, was there a specific aspect of the game you were looking to see tonight, knowing how many people for the Trailblazers were not playing, knowing what was on the line? Now we basically got 5 games left for the playoffs. I'm curious if there was something specific you were looking at, not necessarily in the midst of trying to write a story, but just, hey, this is what I'd like to see going into the game, knowing all the above.
Yeah, I think to me it was Coby White. And, this is a very strong defensive team in Portland who had Matisse Thybulle, who's one of the premier defenders in the league, on Coby. And not to say that I'm not believing what I'm seeing from Coby, but I just wonder how it will evolve and sustain throughout the course of the season, especially as he becomes the more, focal point of the defensive scouting report and his teams throw their best defenders on him. And so for him to continue playing the way that he has been, 31 points, 9 of 16 from the field, and 11 of 12 from the free throw line. Everything I said about Giddy and transforming his scoring applies to Coby as well, who has just been awesome at driving, putting pressure on the rim, finishing, playing through contact. I mean, I feel like a lot of times he's getting fouled and being even more physical than Giddy and just not getting some of those calls. So Coby has been really impressive. And I think the more he does it, especially against higher level defenders, the more real it feels. And again, that's another person that I just really want to see in the postseason, see at the highest level for him to really get a sense of how real is this? Because, our friend and colleague Cody Westerland was asking Vooch during postgame media, it's almost routine for him now, and not to discredit him or make it sound like, it's not impressive, but it's like they just need that from him every single night. They need him to step into the leading scorer role, and he has done it, and it just feels so natural at this point.
Goat, curious what you made of Modest's night tonight. Obviously took a backseat production-wise to the Bulls' big three of Coby, Vuce, and Giddy, but I thought he had a really interesting moment late in that game where he airballs what would have been a really big-time three when the Bulls were clinging to that narrow lead. And then I think the next time down the floor or two possessions after that steps into another huge corner three, and that one is nothing but net. We've talked a lot about this young guy's confidence, and we saw it again tonight. What did you make of it?
Yeah, Billy was talking about it after the game. Modest was talking about it after the game. Vuce, I mean, everyone was praising him for just continuing to play the game and not worry about the previous possession. I think that does plague some players, but Modest, and Billy's been careful to say, like, it's not like he's out there trying to make mistakes, but if and when he ever does, it's just like, okay, next play mentality, and just, on to the next one. He doesn't let it bother him. He doesn't let it drag him down. And I think, Giddy's another example of that too, where he did not score the ball very well in the first half, didn't play very well at all, despite the big numbers. And then in spite of that, turns it around and really has a productive second half. And I think that's a mentality that you need to have to be a great player in this league. And it's something that is really encouraging about Modest when you think about his ability to take, steps forward and just projecting him out. Like, if you want him to be a really high level player, he's got to be able to produce in those moments. And so there's going to be times where you make mistakes, you get beat off the dribble, you get, lit up backdoor cut, something like that. And you just got to wipe it from your memory, be better the next time, and continue to step into big shots and make them. So really like what I saw from him. Again, not like the most productive game we've ever seen. We just had the 28-point game, the 31-point game, but good defense, had a couple of nice blocks, and hit that huge three down the stretch there for his first career double-double.
Will, Lonzo was questionable to play in this one, and then they sat him out. How close is Lonzo to playing? Is it something like the next couple of games? And is there any other injury update on guys like Trey Jones?
Nothing on Trey. That's another person that they're probably going to have to ask about soon. I think he was supposed to be 2 weeks, and he's probably coming up on that. Lonzo, I think there was some optimism that he was going to be able to play tonight. But we asked Billy before the game, and obviously he was out. And it just seems like he's still not 100% comfortable with the way that his wrist is feeling when it comes to shooting, and just looks a little stiff. Billy said he was even like kind of realizing it as he was watching him play. He's been getting in runs and like playing 5-on-5 and stuff. So I think the conditioning part is getting back to where it needs to be. But I think that whether it's like a mental issue or a physical one, he just doesn't feel 100% with that wrist, and they're not going to push him to play if he's not. And I think it may just not get to that point, and he may have to start playing through it anyway. But for right now, I just don't think there's enough urgency to get him back to really force it. And, it sounds like he is going to play before the end of the year. I don't know if he'll make it on Sunday. I believe he is going to be traveling with the team, so there's a possibility. It does feel like it's kind of around the corner, but they keep pushing it back. And there's not really like a timeline right now. It's just kind of a day-to-day thing.
So he's just vaguely ramping up.
He's vaguely ramping up, yeah.
4 to 6 weeks.
I mean, he's already been out now. I think this was his 17th game.
17th
missed.
Game.
Yeah.
Poof,
And
just like
it was only
that.
15 during the original injury, right? And so this is the same thing that he hurt early on in the season that cost him a full month, if not more. And it's just the kind of thing that it's not going to resolve itself. Like, he's going to need a long time in order to fully heal. It's probably going to happen over the summer. Again, they did not say that they were going to shut him down. They did not say that he was going to have surgery, but it's taking some time.
Well, so interesting enough, after our discussion of Giddy last week, I decided to kind of dig a little deeper and talk to some people, and I found some interesting thoughts about how stubborn he is, about how hard he'll work to prove that he's right, but also he doesn't really have outward emotion, but they talk about how much of a competitor he really is and how hard he actually works in practice on his shot. more than anything, even on days when they're not supposed to practice. I'm curious, Goat, have you actually had an opportunity to really sit down with him or listen to conversations that he's having with somebody else to pick up this stubbornness, this competitiveness?
I talked to him in depth earlier on in the season just to kind of get a sense of like his mentality and his character. And I was really impressed with the way that he approached it, especially coming off of, what was a pretty brutal playoff series for him in that second round against the Mavericks, where they played him off the court. He was, removed from the game. And then he has to see all this like backlash on social media. And then he comes out and balls out in the Olympics and plays really well. And I think it was just interesting to hear him talk about like getting his confidence back. And you can really see that he's playing with that. And that's one of the things that actually Billy mentioned pregame, is that he just has so much confidence as a shooter. And I think, it was only one attempt from 3 tonight, but the fact that he has worked so hard on it to where he really is confident stepping into those when he needs to, I think that's a really good sign. And it probably translates to other areas of his game. And we've seen it now with defense, where he's had moments where he's buckled down and really become a better defensive player, both on and away from the ball. You've seen it, as we mentioned, with the driving and his ability to get downhill into the free throw line. I think the thing that has been most consistently impressive about him is that he is, there goes light skin.
They do that to you all the time.
After dark.
Goat after
I
dark.
Okay, here we go. The thing that's been the most impressive about him is his self-awareness and understanding the things that he needs to do in order to improve and succeed. And I think you've seen a lot of that, especially during the second half.
I do have another question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I don't want to necessarily go down this rabbit hole. So maybe you can kind of, help us out here. You have the ability to go in the locker room. So is there, and I know there's a lot of chatter on the chat tonight about P. Will. Is it just something that we just will never be able to understand? And I don't mean it to be funny, but it's just,
No, but it is.
it doesn't make sense.
That's how much fans are grasping at straws.
I mean, yeah, I don't have the answers to that. I don't think anybody does. I think probably even Patrick doesn't. I haven't talked to him in a bit here. But yeah, I mean, I think like
He's just kind of leaving him alone and moving on.
Sorry, say that again?
Or like you and Casey and Joe. I mean, it's just okay.
Yeah. I mean, typically we just talk to the guys who like were the standout performers, and he just hasn't been that. And so he hasn't been on that radar quite as much. And I think, I mentioned this a while back, but I think that there was kind of this narrative or assumption going around that like guys were getting in his way with Patrick or with DeMar and with Zach in the rotation, with Vooch. They're playing this style that doesn't really cater to his skill sets. And once those guys leave, he'll have more runway, more of an open floor to be able to show and do what he can do. And now they're in that situation, and they have this very fast-paced, like, egalitarian offense where everybody can get shots up. I mean, Kevin Huerter has the greenest light he's probably ever had. Giddy has the ball, as much as he wants it. Like, guys can create and can score for themselves if they want to and if they can. And we still haven't seen it from Patrick. And I think part of the reason why is that he's a very like cerebral player. I think he likes to emulate the style of play that we watched with DeMar, where he's like, floor is set, you see where the chess pieces are on the board, and you can kind of navigate that. And I don't think he really has the, ball skills to be able to do that at this point. And so when you're more comfortable in that style, and now the team is moving away from that, they're moving towards a much faster pace where you have to make quicker decisions and read the floor quickly without the defense being set. I think that's been a challenge for him. And I think that, he's not shooting the ball as well. He's turning it over. He's missing dunks. It's like all this stuff that it just continues to happen. To me, it's like, I don't really feel like piling on because he's obviously struggling. And it doesn't really make a difference. Like he's just, it's more to me at this point, it's like, contact me when something else happens that you can talk about. Cause it's like the same stuff that we're seeing over and over again. And it's unfortunate. I mean, they just gave him a big contract. He's going to be around for a while. It's not a tradable deal. Nobody else is going to want him at this point. The best thing that can happen is for him to play his way into a better shape and a better standing with his team. And the way he's doing it right now is just not going to work. So he has to figure something out. The team has to figure something out to put him in a better position. I think a lot of it's on him because we have seen the difference now in style and personnel and in approach to the game. He's come off the bench. He's started. He's been the fifth, starter on the team. He's been the primary guy in the bench units. Like, none of it's really worked. And I think at a certain point, like, it's just kind of like wake me up when there's something new to talk about, because it's just not really, to me, I'm not like upset about or frustrated with the lack of production. It's just like, this is what we've come to expect.
Yeah. It's only disappointing if it's unexpected, I guess. Goat, we appreciate the fact that you stayed a little extra with us tonight. Just so give us your Goon nomination and we'll let you get out of here.
I kind of want to pick THT. I think I'm going to pick THT. 4 shots, or 4 of 5 of 6 from the line, just getting shots up literally every chance he gets. And he is honestly like a very talented scorer. So I love to see it.
Unbelievable.
Solid nomination. Bulls Nation, read the GOAT stuff. AllCHGO.com is where you can find it. Become a CHGO diehard so you can read all of it. We save most of his great writing for our diehards only. And, of course, follow him, Will_Gottlieb, for his updates on the socials. GOAT, have a great night. Get home safe. We will talk to you on Sunday.
Talk to you guys later.
Peace.
All right. Before we dive into the other Goon of the Night nominations and our winner, just on the heels of that Pat conversation, I think we had a super chat about Pat. So let's get to that now.
Sure.
Shout out to Trev Lind.
What up?
With a $10 super chat, who said, first time, long time. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the super chat. If P. Will spent the offseason working on dribbling skills, can't even get through it. How much better could he be? Seems to be he just lacks innate coordination with his body. I think you just answered your own question with the description of an NBA player. He lacks innate coordination with his own body.
But I think
He just needs to figure out how to dribble a basketball. These are things that can be accomplished. Apparently not. I'm done. I've been out on Pat for a while. I was a believer. He broke my heart. And left me for dead.
He did.
Yeah. Shout out to our guy Rob, who I just saw in the comments a second ago, saying, it's getting pretty dark and lonely here on P. Will Island, but we're still hanging in there. You just asked if he could work on some dribbling this offseason. Theoretically, yes. This will be his 6th offseason as an NBA player. And I get he was part of that COVID draft, so they didn't get the combine and all the other stuff about no summer league.
Sure.
That is not an excuse that has held back all of the other players who were drafted in that draft class.
Yeah. Katie.
Yeah, I think this is a fair question. And I think obviously he hasn't looked good for a long time, but maybe it really is just that at some point he lost his confidence and now don't laugh when I say this, now he's so petrified to turn it over and he's genuinely scared to dribble and it's leaking into everything else he does. Maybe he is struggling. I know Dave is already laughing. Maybe he is struggling with shooting because he's just so terrified to
I mean, yes. So, some would just simply say the yips.
Yeah.
I have been thinking that Patrick Williams has the yips for a season and a half now.
Yeah, you've said this. Yes.
We all knew he was going to miss that dunk.
We all knew.
It was the most
if there was 15 dribbles.
If there was a live bet I could have made in the 8 milliseconds of him jumping up off the hardwood and arriving at the rim, I would have bet $100 that he failed to convert that dunk attempt.
Yeah,
that's how absurd it is.
The problem, I think, with the question about just taking the season to get his dribbling is, I would feel that way if that had been an issue from the start and he just had to do it to get better. Kind of like Coby. Coby was a solid dribbler, but then you saw him work on it year after year until you get the guy that you got right now. Pat came in, that was one of the least of my concerns about him. He had a really good rookie season. He made an all-rookie team, for goodness sakes. Dribbling was part of what he did. It was this is good. He had his own little shot. He had a nice little one-hander he would go up with all the time. His athleticism was always on full display. We saw all this stuff happen, and then we get to this point, and it's who is this human being? I don't recognize you, and I'm looking right at you, and I don't know who you are. Something broke. Something's missing. I don't know what it is. It's clearly something that only he knows what's going on. I definitely think it's something mental. I don't think it's something skill-wise. And I think that's the difference. I think it's something up here and not, on the floor. Of course, there are things he can improve on the floor and stuff, but in year 6, the stuff we're asking from him right now is mental stuff, man. We're like, dude, you got to show up and not look like you're just doing cardio out there on the floor, man. And it's been upsetting and depressing and sad and disappointing. It really has.
On that uplifting note, that's going to do it for those of you watching on our streaming services. If you want that bonus coverage, just head to allchgo.com.
I got to get this
Find out who the goon of the night is.
Time to get this goon in, man. Let's get the goonage. And
Grandpa Empire.
Grandpa Empire wants to do it. He wants to tell you. Wait, what'd you say? All right, Katie, he said put your hand up. Wave it like you just don't care. And bring it across the back of the necks of people who are hating on the Bulls.
To beat a man, you gotta beat the man now. I'm the man.
Oh, my goodness.
Goon of the night brought to you by Empire Today. That's for you, Will Perdue. Go ahead, hold that. All they do is floors, no matter what. 588 to 300. Peck!
Empire
Today. Ooh, dulcet tones.
Ding, ding.
I like it.
Bing bong.
All right. Some nominees out there, man. Let's do this. Will Perdue, I'm going to come to you because you have 4 rings.
I'm
Who's your
actually
goon of the night?
going to go with Modest.
Oh,
I love it.
nice.
Because not just 12 points, 12 rebounds, first career double-double.
Mm-hmm.
But I just really listen, I know he shot a horrid air ball, but it didn't deter him the next time he got that ball in the corner, knocked down the 3. But I just liked his aggression. He was looking to attack the rim. He was going over guys. He was going under guys. He was going through guys. I mean, like all rookies, we talked about, the main thing you are going to see is a lot of inconsistency. But I think he's at the most consistent stretch of his rookie year right here.
Mm.
And that's also going into the playoffs. I mean, I want to see where, once this all shakes out, where he finishes as far as rookie first team, this whole thing, because rightfully so, I don't think he was playing well enough to go to the All-Star weekend, to play in the what do they even call that now?
What is it, something versus the world or something like that?
Yeah, so, yeah. So rightfully so, a lot of people are like, oh, man, he didn't even get named because he was really inconsistent. But,
Yeah.
I mean, since the All-Star break, he's been a different player. And now you take this stretch of what he's doing, and I will say also tonight, not only the physicality, but now it's starting to look easier for him.
Mm.
Before he was actually having success, but it looked difficult, right? Meaning you could tell he's just out there giving it his all.
Yeah.
Now it seems like he's starting to catch up to the speed of the game, right? Because you would see 2 or 3 really good plays, and Matt's like, that's my guy. And then he would do something terrible. You'd be like, oh, God, there's that rookie again. But what you've seen is like tonight, he was consistently in the right place, made the right decisions, but also at the other end, 3 blocks. I mean, that part of his game just keeps getting better.
Yeah.
Sure does.
Yeah.
I mean, that one emphatic one he had smacked off the backboard. Holy Lord.
On Denny Avia.
Whew.
Well, no,
By the way,
that's
talked
who
about
I'm
him great
going
game.
with
Shout out to
tonight.
him. He had a big game.
He had a big game.
If I were a Blazers fan and that was a dub, Denny Avdia.
Should be encouraged.
Dude is goon-like.
Yeah, be
in
encouraged.
this stretch of games.
Yeah. Take that, C-Red Fred.
Yeah, I agree with Purdue. Loved the good moments and loved him fighting through the bad moments for Modest tonight. But my goon vote, GOAT is correct. It's THT. 4 of 5 from the field, 5 of 6 from the free throw line for 13 points in 16 minutes. By the way, GOAT left out the best part.
Which is?
The only other columns in THT's stat line that weren't zeros was 1 foul and 1 turnover. The man went out there, got buckets, and did not a damn thing else. Rebounds? No, thank you. Assists? No, thank you. Steals box? I'm good. Pass. Buckets only for this man, who is like a decade and a half my junior, and yet somehow also looks like a dude who plays basketball in the old man league.
Yeah.
He is a mystery.
Yeah.
He's a mystery in human form, and
What you're saying is we need to get him some dirty socks and some Chuck Taylors. And
sure, yes, absolutely.
He's a Yeti.
So long as he continues to have games where he gets buckets.
That's all he knows.
And only buckets.
And only buckets. That's it. Oh, man. Katie, your goon of the night, please.
Taylor Horton Tucker, good night.
okay.
Well, all right.
I think somebody wants to go home. So
Yeah, I think that. So, yeah, let me go ahead and get out there. Let me give a big shout out to Jacob. Tyson wants me to give a shout out to his son, Jacob. Big shout out to Jacob. What up, my friend?
What up, Jake?
You tuned in right in time because it's time to give away who is winning Goon of the Night. And Goon of the Night award goes to...
Are you going to give this to yourself again?
I earned it last time. I have been swayed. I have been swayed.
Whoa!
It happens.
The mind change.
It happens. And I have been swayed. It goes to Modest Buzelis.
Oh, what?
Will Perdue's argument was really damn good. I ain't going to lie to you, bro. That was a really damn good argument he made why that young man should be Goon of the Night. And then when the 3 blocks were thrown in with it, I mean, yeah, and then doing it as a rookie and just, yeah, Will. That argument was really well said and really well put together. I was
Signed,
swayed.
sealed, and delivered.
I was swayed, sir. Yes.
Who was it?
Swayed from?
It was swayed from Coby White.
Oh!
Because Coby White, not because of the points, but because of when he took that foul and dropped, and rolled over on the sideline, got back up, and kept on balling. That
3 barrel rolls?
3 barrel rolls. Face literally hit the floor when he rolled over. All right?
He's like an Olympic skier who fell.
Yes, man.
tumbling.
And we thought he was hurt. We thought something was hurt. And he got up and kept on doing this thing, man. Oh, man.
I never question the Almighty.
Yeah.
The Almighty being Big Dave when he hands out this award. I can't believe THT didn't even play second.
He did not. Coby THT is what he does.
Exactly.
Listen, it's the same argument people make about Jordan. It's the same argument people making about Joker right now. Their greatness is unquestioned. We know what they're going to do. JaVale McGee could have been shacking the pool every night. All right? THT can do this all the time. But, man, dog, when guys like that stand out like that, I got to give him some love. I got to give him some love on that. Will Perdue got me. He did.
It was a solid argument. Eco being meanwhile saying, what does Vucevic have to do to earn Goon of the Night? Score 60? Score 60 and then get ejected.
Yeah.
How about he just gives a crap? Is that enough?
Yeah.
Like,
I see Alexander wants to know about my Gold Lane t-shirt. I don't know what that, but if this was gold, that's Marvin Gaye, my friend.
Yeah.
Right there. You better respect that.
Yeah.
You going to respect that. Have some respect right there, my friend. That is Marvin Gaye. Go do your research about here. Ooh.
Kids out here these days, Dave.
Oh,
I
these
swear.
children.
I
did
swear.
get to hear Marvin Gaye sing the national anthem one time.
Oh, my God.
Before a Piston game.
Dude.
They brought him out.
Yeah, I remember the All-Star game one. That was the one he walked out with the glasses on. That was in L.A.
Yeah.
Walked out with the glasses, and he rewrote the national anthem and how it's supposed to sound. That thing was amazing.
Wait, where was this game played?
I think it was in Detroit.
I feel like Marvin Gaye is the complete opposite vibes the bad boy Pistons would want to be listening to leading up to tip-off.
Okay, but Marvin Gaye
it's also
from Detroit.
Okay.
Motown, right?
Yes, Motown. Also, Marvin Gaye tried out for the Detroit Lions during the time that he was Marvin Gaye.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like Marvin Gaye was a goon now. Like, don't get this twisted. That was a wild boy.
Now, here's the other thing.
I picture Bill Laimbeer like listening to Pantera in the locker room.
Hold on.
Like this, what Michael Jordan was listening to before he went and bust somebody's ass was like smooth jazz and R&B.
Kenny Lattimore.
Sing right.
I'm
singing Anita Baker while I'm dropping 60 on you. Come on.
But here's the thing. The Detroit Pistons were equal opportunity artists. Because in all the times that we ended up going to play the Detroit Pistons, on one end of the spectrum, you had Marvin Gaye with the, just the dulcet tones. It's just, you're kind of just sitting. You can't help but just start bobbing the head, right?
Yeah.
And then a couple years later, we brought in Ted Nugent.
A little different.
Ew.
I think I saw most of the brothers with blood coming out of their ears.
I believe it. They would have also been coming out of mine.
Yeah, I'm about to say, a couple little white guys are still like, what?
Yeah.
What is this?
But he actually
That's a hard pass.
he played it on an electric guitar.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, still no.
He basically
Yeah.
took the guitar,
give me
flipped
my-
it up like it was a slide guitar,
Yeah.
and played the national anthem on the electric guitar. So, but you can only imagine how, he kind of got into it.
Yeah.
Kind of like Marvin Gaye did at the All-Star game, right?
Look, man, y'all ever got some time, go watch Marvin Gaye singing the national anthem and see if you don't want to call your significant other in and be like, man, national anthem done got a little sexy. Like, man, let me check this out. It is amazing.
That's y'all's to-do list for tomorrow.
Go listen
while
to
the
that.
Bulls are having a day off, as are we.
He was clean.
We will be back on Sunday, noon Central Time tip-off when the Bulls are in Charlotte taking on the Hornets.
Buzz City?
Buzz City, baby.
Oh, Buzz City.
No, you're kidding. Until Sunday, follow our guy Will_Gottlieb. Read the Quaff, allchgo.com. Follow four-time NBA champ Will Perdue, Uncle Will_Perdue32. Big Dave is a BAM, BNWL Sports.
Bam.
I'm Bulls_Peck. We are CHGO_Bulls. Shout out to the tireless, incredible queen of the controls, Katie Duffy.
Hit the like button.
Hit the like on
the
your
like
way
button.
out. Thanks for the chats, y'all. Appreciate them. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you also subscribe to that CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Have a great start to your weekend. See you on Sunday. See you. Be good.
Rest in love to Val Kilmer.
Yes.
Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.